Morgen, Kinder. Wir beginnen in Aktivität Platte 10 mit der Familie. Wir beginnen mit der Familie. We're going to start Activity Board 10 learning about the family or family tree, which is in German called Familienbaum. Familienbaum auf Deutsch. And while we're learning about the family tree, we're going to learn a bunch of different German vocabulary and different German grammar concepts. We're going to learn how to say possessive adjectives, and that just means words like my, his, hers, yours, theirs. And so that's going to go in front of each family member. So mein Bruder, my brother, meine Schwester, my sister, and so on. We're going to learn the verb sein, which the form for the third person is ist, so that we can talk about different character traits of our family members. An example would be mein Bruder ist groß, mein Bruder ist groß, or my brother is tall. Or meine Schwester ist klein, meine Schwester ist klein, my sister is short. And we're going to learn different adjectives to talk about our family members in German. That'll be part 1 of the activity board, and part 2 we'll be talking about clothing items and saying what our family members are wearing and describing different traits about them physically. And we're going to learn about adjective endings while we're doing that, because in German, so similar to how the verb endings change depending on what pronoun we're using, I, you, he, she, we, it, they, and so on. Adjective endings change depending on what the gender of the noun is. And we don't have genders for nouns. And when I say gender, when we're talking about language, we're not talking about gender as a human trait. We're talking about a classification system of language when it comes to nouns or people, places, and things. And so in German, you have der, die, and das. And depending on what the noun is classified as, der, die, or das, the adjectives endings will change. And so we'll be learning about that when we're talking about clothing items. So I'm going to go through this family tree and this pear deck and give you instructions. So please pay attention carefully. Also, I'm going to go over the different family members first. And then when I'm finished, I'll show you your task on the next slides. Die Großmutter. Die Großmutter. Can you guess who die Großmutter is from the family tree? All right, so we have boy, girl, parents, aunts, uncles, and then we have Großeltern or grandparents. So Großmutter is grandmother. Der Großvater is grandfather. Die Mutter is mother. Der Vater is father. Der Onkel is uncle. Die Tante is aunt. And then we can use 2 words for the children here. Der Sohn, can you guess what that is? Is son. And der Bruder is brother. And over here, die Tochter is daughter. And die Schwester is sister. And you notice the difference between the or die for the female characters and der, which is the masculine form of the for the male characters. Next slide. So what I'm going to want you to do for each slide is drag the pin to where you would find the particular family member that you see here. In addition, each slide has audio instructions and pronunciation of the family member. So please click on the microphone to listen to those for each slide. Die Tochter, die Schwester. Drag the pin to where you would see die Tochter oder die Schwester. So for every slide, listen to the audio and then drag the pin where you would see the particular family member. So der Bruder, der Sohn. Again, listen to the audio. Whenever you see there's audio included on a paired deck, you're going to look for the headphones down here to listen to that. And click on it and then play. You'll go through all these slides. Then there's another slide with two more family members, and you listen to the audio as well, and it'll pronounce them and ask you to identify who you think they are. And then finally, here's a slide with other family members or words to do with family that you might encounter in German. Die Geschwister. Die Geschwister is siblings. Die Eltern. Die Eltern, think elders, is parents. Die Großeltern. Die Großeltern is grandparents. Das Baby. Das Baby. Der Cousin. Der Cousin. Die Cousine. Die Cousine. Der Hund. Der Hund. Und die Katze. Die Katze, two of my favorite are the dog and the cat. Der Hund, die Katze. Das Haustier. Das Haustier is the word for animal. Haus means house, and Tier means animal, so it literally means house animal. So that means pet. Alright, so those are other words that you may encounter. So we're going to expand on die Familie. Family tree is der Familienbaum, and learn about all those things that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Viel Spaß, auf Wiedersehen. Wir sehen uns in der Klasse.